Hello, hello, hi, 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 hi. Welcome, 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 welcome. This is the very first episode of the Trans Sister Radio Show, featuring me, of course. I'm your host here, Latrice Kelly, and I just want to give you guys just a few minutes. I'm going to give folks some time to come in and join us. We're going to have an awesome, awesome, awesome show tonight. I'm so excited about the guests that we have tonight that are here. I'm so excited about this whole endeavor, and I think it's going to be an amazing experience, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I'm enjoying making it happen. We've got some incredible shows coming up. I want to tell you guys a little bit about that too. But first things first, at the top of the hour, I do want to let you guys know, in regards to the Click for Cash $100 free cash giveaway, the contest was that you had to subscribe to the channel in order to be entered. When we went on Friday night to write down the subscribed names of the eligible contestants, we discovered that YouTube automatically sets subscriptions to private when a person opens an account. So unless you changed your status to public, we are unable to see who actually subscribed or not. Now, we had 43 awesome people subscribed to the channel as of this morning, and I'm only able to see 17 of those names. So in the spirit of keeping it fair, because I want to make sure we keep it fair across the board, and there's 43 of you guys, and it wouldn't be fair to the rest. So in the spirit of keeping it fair, we're going to postpone the contest until next episode. And this gives those of you that are set as private an opportunity to set that as public so that we can see that you subscribed and you can be entered fairly, and it's a fair playing field across the board. Now, if you haven't changed your status by Friday, August the 24th, we will proceed with the contest on the next episode regardless, okay? So we're giving everyone the opportunity to fix that. We apologize for that. I didn't know that when I first made the announcement about the contest. I do hope that you guys will still stick around this episode and watch this episode with us, but if not, we're very grateful that you came by, okay? Now that that's out the way, welcome to my show. Hey, turn up. Hey. It's Sunday. We're turning down. I'm turning up. I got my wine. I got my strawberries. I'm ready to go. You guys should get your snacks because this is going to be an awesome episode. The episode is entitled Elections. It's we have some amazing people from Central Florida that are already and are running for positions in office. And I think this is a great opportunity for us as a community to get to hear the people that are going to represent us as a community and what they have to say on our behalf. And I'm so amazed at the response that I'm getting from people when I ask them to join this podcast. I'm so excited. Today we do have the mayor of Sanford that is going to be here. That's right, Jeff Triplett is going to be on today. We also have, he's running for Orange County Sheriff's Department. He's Darryl Sheppard is going to be on today. We have Cha-Cha, the voice of the South, the mouth of the South. Baby, she will not be stopped. And I love her. I live for her. And that's why she's here. She's here today. We've got Mulan Montrese Williams. No introduction is needed for the Rouge, baby. But she is here today as well. And we also have running for District 6 commissioner seat. Love her, county commissioner. Love her to death. You love her. She is an activist. She is a powerful Black woman, and I'm so glad she's here. We've got Robin Harris here tonight, too. So this is going to be an awesome, incredible show. And they'll be on a little bit later on in the show. But right now, I just want to let you guys know, for those of you who may not know very much about me or who I am, I want to let you guys know who I am. So, I'm your host of the show. My name is Tierra Latrice Kelly. All of my friends call me TT or Sis. I was born in Detroit. I was a child of a pastor, grew up in church. I have 4 siblings who I love dearly. I moved to Niagara Falls, New York at a very young age, and then I moved to Florida in the 7th grade. I went to Edgewater High School, go Eagles, and that's where I began transitioning at the age of about 16 years old. Now, fast forward a few years. While living in Jacksonville, Duval County, Florida, with my ex-boyfriend, Scott, I began using heavy drugs. I'm going to always be honest with you guys. You guys are always going to get an open book from me because this is my story, and my story is very important. And the reason why I'm doing this is that I'm hoping that these stories will enlighten, encourage, and help someone out there. So I'm always going to be honest with you. But I did begin using heavy drugs. And this was shortly after my mother passed away, and I quickly became addicted to cocaine, which eventually turned into crack. Now, against my best judgment and being high out of my mind, to be quite frank with you, I did leave Scott behind, and I went to Tampa to live with some friends of mine, and that's when things progressively got worse for me. I eventually wound up right back here in Orlando, Florida, right out on Orange Blossom Trail. And for almost 6 years, I chased money and I hit a crack. I was arrested numerous times. I was beaten, raped, robbed, you name it. I went through it. In 2005, I did go to jail. And while I was in jail, I had a spiritual encounter with God. And that changed my life forever. Now, listen, this is not a religious show. I'm not going to push a bunch of God on you, but I need to let you guys know that I am a reverend. I am a lover of the Lord by spirit, and that is just who I am. It doesn't mean that any of you have to be. You are welcome here regardless of what your beliefs are, just so we all are clear on that. But I want to let you guys know that I did have an experience that changed my life forever. And when I got out of there, I left the street life and I never went back. I did begin to detransition a little later. I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. I became an attendee of the World Changers Mega Church under Pastor Creflo Dollar. Upon leaving there, I dove headfirst into ministry, and I went to Atlanta Christian College, and that's now, I think they're calling it Point University now. But while I was there, I got an associate's in Christian ministry with a specialty in evangelism. After graduating, I moved back here to Orlando, where I had yet another incredible spiritual encounter that changed my life. And so it taught me that God didn't make any mistakes with me, and that everything I had been through was preparation, and I was trans. There was no disputing that. So I began living in my truth once again, and this time I was happier and I was free, and I was just more free than I've ever been in my whole life. So I was ordained, like I was saying, in 2016 at a ministry that is no longer established. And I decided to use the gifts that God had given me for my passion, and that's outreach ministry. So here I am today, here with all of you on my own show, the Trans Sister Radio Show, in a completely different space and time. And I'm so grateful for that. So welcome to my home and welcome to the show, guys. I am so super excited. I know I've been flooding you guys' Facebooks and Instagrams and tweets with Twitters with just advertisement and promotion, but there's no point of me being here if there's no one there to gather and get all of this delicious information that we have today. So, like I said, get your wine, your snacks, or whatever you need, because this is going to be a juicy little show. Do y'all see I broke my nail? I just got my nails done and broke it already. I'm a mess. A horrible mess. But I hope you guys are doing well. Also, I want to let you guys know that I will be communicating with you guys through the comments at the bottom. I have not figured that out yet. I'm an old girl, so I'm not that tech savvy yet. But I do have my awesome husband back there. Say hi, babe.
Hey, guys.
I have my awesome husband back there who is going to be helping me out as much as possible. So he will be responding to comments and that type of thing as well. So we're trying to make this thing happen. But right now, this is a segment in the show that I am going to call TT's Teas. That's right. TITITEAS Teas. This is TT's Teas. TT's Teas is going to be a little segment of the show where we are going to just go over some current events, some things that are happening around the world, highlight some amazing people, that type of thing. Because I think that's very important that we do that. So let's get down to that. I need some music here. See, I'm learning, y'all. This is first day, but I need some music here. So let's see. How do I do this again? Oh, got it. All right, guys. So let's talk about this first story here on TT's Teas. So have you guys heard the story about in Akil, Oklahoma? A middle school was forced to shut down because parents of the students were threatening the life of a 12-year-old transgender child named Maddie. Unbelievable. Folks, believe it. On the screen there, what you're reading are some screenshots and comments that were posted in this PTA-type Facebook group. The story reads that a middle school in Akil, Oklahoma, is closing following violent threats by parents on social media against Maddie, a 12-year-old transgendered student who identifies as a female and used the girl's bathroom. Here we go again with this bathroom situation. That's a whole nother show. We will get to that, trust me. Maddie had been using the staff bathroom at her old school, but used the school's bathroom to the new school, because she wasn't sure where the staff bathroom was. She was then accused of peeping under bathroom stall. Now, her mother said that it's probably because she leans very forward to use the bathroom. Whatever the case. Then the threats began on the private parents' Facebook group. And this is for the school. So the school was full aware of this group and that these parents were posting this stuff. The parents called Maddie it and thing. They suggested that her genitalia be mutilated to make her female or good. One comment said, a good sharp knife will do the job real quick. Guys, we're talking about a 12-year-old child. And these are grown parents of children that are probably around the same age. Talking like this, a good sharp knife will do the job real quick. One said it was hunting season on them kind and said there was no bag limit. No bag limit, guys. Now, you can see it in the screenshots there. This is no joke. Maddie's mother, Brandy Rose, said that she fears for her daughter's life. These are adults making threats. I don't understand it, she says. She's an awesome kid. And to fear and to see any fear in her, I just can't explain how bad that hurts me as a mother. And I understand I'm not a parent, I'm not a mom, but gosh, we all can understand that. Now, Rick Bean is the superintendent of Akil Public Schools. And he said in an interview on Tuesday that he had held a staff meeting after receiving hundreds of messages about the episode. What we decided is that we want to be more educated, Mr. Bean said. Not so much for anything that we did as a staff, but for what we didn't do. Mr. Bean has hired a hall monitor, he said, a hall monitor, guys, to help ensure that students aren't being bullied. The school district has a no tolerance policy for bullying, according to their website. Now, I want to know, I have to know, guys, what do you guys think here? Do you guys think that what do you guys think? What is your opinion here? I would love to know exactly what you guys think about this story, because this story gets me riled up. Like, seriously? These are parents, grown adults with children the same age as a child that they are talking about, mutilating. What have we become? I couldn't get the words out. But what have we become as a nation that this is okay? I'm going to be following this story because I would love to see how the school's going to handle this. I think each and every last one of those parents needs to be arrested for making a threat to a child. But I want to know what you guys think. So drop your comments in the comment box below. Drop your comments. Let me know what you guys think, and then we'll talk about this later on another episode and follow up with that, okay? But on a lighter note, the next episode that we have here is going to be, the next TT's that we have here is going to be a uplifter. I love this story so much. It actually has 10,000 views on Facebook as of midweek, but 0 news media coverage. Now, as this was as of Wednesday, it had no media coverage whatsoever. Now, I wanted to highlight her here because to me, she's a hero. And the video shows a very passionate and compassionate young lady identified only as Nisha. In the video, live streaming an incident on the bus where this coward in the khaki shorts that you're going to see, allegedly, he just before the live started, he was beating his baby's mother on the bus, on the rear of the bus. The passengers in the video allege seeing him choke and punch her in the face on the rear of this bus. But this courageous woman that you're going to see in the video here, she stood up to this asshole, and as you will see here in the video, she refuses to let the victim, who is only known as Katrina on the video, she stands up and she refuses to let her leave with this asshole who stands there trying to get her off the bus for a while. Before eventually, like the coward he is, he runs off because the cops were on the way. So before the cops got there, he did run off. And it is unclear as of right now whether or not he was ever apprehended. At one point in the video, there was a male passenger that stood up to this punk and was like, I dare you to hit me just like you just hit her. And of course, because he was a punk and a little bitch, he regressed. And so I'm going to post the link at the comments below so you can watch the whole thing. It's 12 minutes long. Of course, we're not going to watch the whole 12 minutes. But I want to know, again, what you guys think about this. Was this woman overstepping her boundaries? That's the question I want to know. Do you guys think, because I've read some of the comments that were on the video, and they were saying, she overstepped her boundaries. But I don't think she did whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I think she's an angel. I believe that heroes, not all heroes wear capes. Some of them are on the bus with their children, saving people's lives. And I think this is what America really is. And that's just my opinion about it. I really do believe that this is what America really is. So, give me one moment. Let's see if I can get a little clip of that video for you guys so you guys can watch that. And I really want to know, like I said, I want to know what you guys think about it, okay? Oh, what's going on with my sound? Huh. Guys, can bear with me just a moment. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with my sound here. All right, guys. Well, I'm not sure what happened with the sound on the video. Oh, I remember. I know what happened. I know what happened. We're gonna try to get to that later on. If we can't, then we'll watch that at another time. But like I said, I'm gonna put the video in the comments below as well, so you can watch the whole thing yourself. Okay. But I think it's an incredible story. Everybody say hi to Robert. He's my tech guy.
Hi, guys.
He's taking care of the technical issues so we don't have this problem later on in the show. Let me see if I can get that video up for you guys now. Okay, let's see if it works. Give me just a moment.
That's my nigga. Be for real. You a whole nigga. We seen it. We seen it. You hit that lady. The fuck? I don't care. Y'all got 14 kids together. That's not love. That's death, baby. Baby girl, that's not love. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? That's not love at all, Brianna. Brianna, if you love yourself, baby, you will get out of there. I'm telling you. Do you hear me? I walked around with black eyes for many years. Do you hear me? Don't do it. It ain't where it's at. Don't let him out. Don't let him off his bus. The police on their way. Flat up, man. Police on their way. I've been called them. No, that. How, my nigga, you just bang that.
Oh, all right. So every time I watch that, I am more and more and more and more. I applaud her. What an amazing, amazing woman. Like I said, that to me, that's America. That is what we. Now, I'm not saying to put yourself in danger's way. It is nobody's job to jump into some stranger situation and put yourself in danger's way. Although I don't think that's a bad thing either. However, that's not what I'm promoting here today. That's not what I'm saying to you guys. What I am saying, though, is that that type of what she just did probably saved that woman's life. And we don't know for sure, but I'm sure that there's a great chance. And you guys, I'm sure, can agree that there's a great chance that that woman's life was saved because this brave woman told her, this is not how this is going to happen. This is not what we're going to do. And that was amazing to me. So I'm really, 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 really super excited to find out what happens with that. Also, how do you guys feel about the fact that there is no media coverage about this? There's none whatsoever. I Googled it. And like I said, now this was on Wednesday. I Googled it and did a couple searches and found nothing. And that's like, we've got all this other mess in the news, all this other mess in the media. But whenever there's something good like this that happens, you don't see it in the media. But on the Transistor Radio Show, you will see it because I believe that we need to see these type of things as well. Don't get me wrong. Anybody who follows me on my Facebook knows that I'm a very outspoken political person. This term, I've never been a political person my whole entire life until the current person that is in office got into office. And then at that particular time was when I began to watch politics and get into it. But speaking of politics, we're just about ready to start bringing on our special guests for the evening. And like I said, I'm so excited to have each and every last one of them. I'm so excited that you guys are here watching and that you guys want to be up to date on issues and what's going on around you and hear what these people have to say. Now, just to give you a little briefing, some of you guys may or may not know Mr. Jeff Triplett. He has been in the office of mayor in the city of Sanford for about 7.5, almost 8 years, I believe it is. And he's going for another term this year. And he's done amazing things. He's done amazing things. And the reason why I wanted him on the show is because he's done amazing things for the community, for our community, the LGBTQ community, as well as the Black communities. He is a very progressive person. He is a very progressive, motivated mayor, and he's doing amazing things, and he's accomplished a lot of things over the last few years. So I'm really, really, really grateful to have him here today and to hear what he has to say. Let's get him reelected again in 2019. And then we also have Orange County Sheriff candidate, Mr. Darryl Sheppard is here as well. Now, some of you may know Darryl Sheppard. He's had a lot of business endeavors in the area. He is the CEO of Capital Ventures here in Orlando, I believe it is. We'll confirm that when he comes on in a little bit. But he is he does not have any experience with law enforcement at all. But he is a I've known Darryl for quite some time, and I personally believe that he would make a wonderful representation of the LGBT and the Black communities. Now, of course, I think like everyone else, I have my hey, like everyone else, I have my my questions that I'd like to ask him, and we're going to be able to ask him some questions today. So stick around. He just joined the chat, and we're going to meet him in just a moment or so, okay? But we're going to wait for the other panelists to get here, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And like I said, if you guys do have any questions for any of the people that are on the panel today, you can just send them to the comments below. Robert, wait, baby, say hi. Robert's going to be monitoring those comments, and then we'll get them approved and see if we can get those asked for you, okay? We want you guys to be informed, each and every last one of you guys to be informed, okay? But this is so exciting. I don't know who's watching, but I want to give some shout out to people. My nephew, Britton, I know he's here. I know that my nephew Kirk's watching. I know that my friends and my family are watching, and I just want you guys to know I love you and I appreciate the support. This is going to be something that just gets better and better. Let's talk a little bit about what we got coming up already. So next Sunday, August 26, 2018, we have This Is America, All Things Trans show. This is going to be an amazing show with an amazing panel of beautiful trans individuals that are going to be open and free and talk and answer questions about everything trans that you can think of. We're going to cover it all. And we've got, she's known as the greatest transsexual rapper alive. Lucinda Karma is going to be right here with us next Sunday. We also have Jordan Victoria Leos is going to be with us as well. She's an amazing advocate around the city. I love her to death. Can't wait to hear what she has to say. She's a great representation of the Latina community, and I'm so excited to hear what she has to say as well. We also have Barbie West. She is brains, beauty, and everything else. So we appreciate her, and we want her to be here too. Do you want to do that? Oh wait, no, I still need it. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Guys, if you guys hear the little dinging, we're going to have to work that out. But if you guys are watching, please do not message me on Facebook Messenger. message me here so that we can avoid the sounds, because I still need the sounds for later on in the show. But we also have next week, we said we had Jordan. We also have said that we have Barbie West. She's intelligent, she's beautiful, she's a businesswoman, she's a successful businesswoman. And I'm so excited to hear what she has to say next weekend as well. And then we also have my sister. We've just, over the last couple of weeks, we've gotten closer. I feel like she's my sister. She always has something very, a different spin on things, but she's amazing. And she's Michaela Soul. She'll also be here as well. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm just waiting to make sure everybody got in. I see Robin down there. Hey, Robin.
Hi.
So let's give it just a couple more minutes, guys, and see if we can get people in. All right. So I was going to do this a little bit later on, but since I need to fill in a little bit of time, I like to highlight local people that are doing incredible things in the area, that are providing all types of services. So first of all, I want to say that if you know someone who in the area who is doing something great, has some sort of a business or something that you'd like to try to see if we can highlight here on the show, drop me an email. You can always email me at thetransistorradioshow@gmail.com. Drop me a message, and then we will we'll see if we can get them featured on here. But this week, I want to feature. I mentioned him a little bit earlier, but he's my nephew. He's an amazing guy. You know him. I'm sure you absolutely know him. His name is Kirk Da Vinci. Kirk Da Vinci has Kirk Da Vinci Entertainment, and it's an amazing, he's an amazing professional young man. You can find him on Facebook, Kirk Da Vinci, DAVINCI. And then he can give you all of his other social media. But I want to get moving here, and we'll just wait for everybody else to come in as they come in. But as of right now, I just want to welcome who we do have here. And so far, we have, well, without further ado, let's see if we can do this.
It's been 7.5 years, so I'm looking at looking for another 4-year term. Are we safe enough? You know, do we have enough cops and fire department guys? So that's a lot. You know, public safety is big in the city of Sanford, and then building up our lower income area. In Sanford County, there's 11 poverty pockets. 7 of those are in the city of Sanford.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Jeff Triplett, the mayor of Sanford, is here with us today. Hey, Mr. Triplett, how are you doing?
Hey, good evening. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm so glad that you're here today with us. Why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Jeff Triplett, born and raised in Springfield, Missouri area. Been in Sanford area for about 18 years. I'm a banker by trade. Been the mayor for 7.5 years and running for re-election. Got 2 boys, a wonderful wife, and the boys are 12 and 17. So one's a senior at Lake Mary High School. The other one's a 7th grader at Sanford Middle School.
Did you send it to my phone? Yeah. Fantastic. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right.
Thank you so much again for being here. We have some questions for you here in just a few minutes, so we'll get to those. Next, I want to welcome, like I talked a little bit about him earlier. He is a really good friend of mine, and I personally, like I said, I think he would be great for the position of the sheriff. I personally do not care for either of the other candidates, and that's, like I said, I'm going to always keep it real with you guys. So But this gentleman, I do absolutely think that he would make a great candidate for Orange County Sheriff. So let's welcome Mr. Darryl Sheppard. Mr. Darryl, hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you, boo?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Glad to be here.
I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, of course, my name is Darryl Sheppard. I'm a Florida born and raised native. I've been in Florida all my life. I've been in Orange County for about 2 decades. I'm a lifelong Democrat. I have a bachelor's degree. I went to FAMU, Florida State as well for a little bit. Bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies with a minor in criminal justice and psychology. Former reserve officer back in my college days in 2003. And of course, I'm running for Orange County Sheriff.
Fantastic. And I'm glad to hear that. I'm so excited about that. We've got some questions for you in just a few minutes too, so stick around, okay?
All right, sure will.
Next, we've got running for County Commission candidate, District 6. I love this woman. I followed her for the longest time on Facebook. We've been friends I just saw a memory the other day that says we've been friends for like 6 years, and I didn't even but that's awesome. So I love this woman to death, and I'm super excited that she is here. And so without further ado.
Hey, everybody. So yes, my name is Robin Harris, and I'm running for County Commissioner District 6. I am actually a Texan native. Have lots and lots of family in Tampa, Florida. So I always say I got here as soon as I could. So I'm here. I've been in activism for as long as I can remember. My college degree is a political science religion, so it's kind of a funny mix. And so I am ready and hoping to be able to serve District 6 and Orlando, period.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you're here. Like I said, I'm so glad, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Unfortunately, we were supposed to have Mulan Montrese, and up until about 10 minutes ago, she was expected to be here. She had something that came up at the very last moment, and she is not going to be able to join us on this episode, but she will be with us next episode on all things trans. So we, Mulan, I hope you get everything that you need to get taken care of, and we'll talk to you on the next episode. I do want to show you guys just a little clip, though, that I was going to show you as her introduction, just so you can get an idea of what Mulan does and what she means to this community. So just give me a moment here. And we're also waiting on Cha-Cha to come in. I'm not exactly sure where she is either. She was just here. But we're going to proceed, and then as she comes in, I'll introduce you guys to her. But like I said, I just wanted you guys to take a look at this really quick, and so here you go.
She was a very outgoing person, very outspoken, somewhat a little firecracker.
Mulan Montrese Williams met Sasha Garden 2 years ago through mutual friends. They got to know each other better during Williams' trans empowerment group. Around 7 o'clock Thursday morning, Williams got an unexpected knock at the door. Deputies were trying to identify a person killed just down the street.
They showed me a picture. The picture was very disturbing because unfortunately it was the picture of her deceased on the ground. I'm still dealing with that.
Investigators have not said how Garden was killed, only that there was trauma to her body.
It's sad we can't live our life just like anyone else without looking over our shoulder to make sure no one's going to hurt us just because of who we are. It's also very hard being a trans in society. You know, words could be very cruel, and they could be very cruel to us trans girls.
The Orange County Sheriff's Office is asking anyone who may have been in the area near the reserve at Buchanan Lake Apartments to call Crime Line at 800-432-TIPS. In Orange County, Kelly Rippin, WESH 2 News.
So that was just a little clip of Mulan, and like I said, she will be on next week, but that was a very important story to me as well. Sasha Garden, we are still seeking justice for that case, so if you have any information, I'd like to use this forum right now to let you know that you can call in anonymously and provide that information. But we are now at the part of the show where I know you guys have been waiting for. We get to ask some questions to our candidates, and it actually is working out right now that we only have candidates, and that's fantastic to me as well. So so we'll start with, let's see, Darryl, since we just watched that video, let's start with you. What would you do as a sheriff of the Orange County to change the narrative that we see in regards to the transgender community? You have to unmute yourself, hon. We can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Okay, so my first priority as sheriff is obviously to keep all citizens of Orange County safe. By doing that, I think we can hold them accountable, making sure that they are serving the community with respect. So, you know, all of my policies will be in the nature of making sure that, you know, we're respecting all citizens in the same manner, no matter if they're gay, straight, black, white, Hispanic, you know, and making sure that we maintain safety and security at the same time. I want to make sure that we also are compassionate with the way we police. It does not mean that we have to jeopardize our safety or the safety of someone else or the security of someone else, but we can treat everyone with respect. And I think if we do that, we'll build a greater relationship with our communities.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much for that, Darryl. And let's see, Robin, let's see, the next question for you, Robin. Can you tell us what exactly, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I had to do some research on exactly what the county commissioner seat, what that entailed. And I'm embarrassed a little bit to say that, but can you tell us, for other people that are like me that didn't know exactly what that is, can you tell us what that is? You're muted too, sweetheart. We can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, the county commissioner seat is it's kind of ambiguous. One of the main jobs is to oversee a budget, and you know, to have, you know, incredible relationship with your constituents. I kind of like to say it as, you know, you're engaged so that you can advocate for constituents. Yeah, I don't know why it's blurry. And also we don't really have, there's some like legislative power we don't necessarily have, but we do have the ability to create ordinances. And also it's to like, we oversee infrastructure issues like roads, lighting, signage. It's kind of ambiguous, and but it can be a lot of work. It can be a lot of work.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you for that. It sounds like it's a very important position, and a thankless position as well. So thank you for running for that. I do appreciate you. So let's see, Mr. Triplett, Mayor Triplett. Next question is for you. Now, for those of you who do not know, Mr. Triplett was reelected in November 2014, I believe it was, for a term that ends this coming January 2019, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so the mayor, he presides at council meetings. He serves as the spokesperson for the community, and he facilitates communication between appointed officials. It's a huge job to be the mayor, of course, but he's done such an amazing job at doing that. And so my first question for you is, I just kind of answered it, but I'd love to hear it from your words as well. How long have you been Sanford's mayor? And a continuation of that would be, what made you decide to leave? You were initially in financial services, right?
Correct.
And what made you decide to leave that and run for mayor some 8 years ago?
You know, we have 4-year terms, so I'm running for my third 4-year term. So that'd make it 12 years. You know, I'm still in financial services. You know, the mayor of the city of Sanford is a part-time deal. We have a full-time city manager that runs day-to-day operations. So I do consulting work on the side. I've always been kind of a political junkie. I supported a mayor 8 years ago that went in a different direction. She decided she was anti-growth, put a moratorium on businesses, and growth in the city of Sanford. And that's not, and in financial services, obviously you're lending money. So, part of what you do on a day-to-day basis is growth and opportunity and jobs, production, infrastructure of sorts. So I decided to run against her. I kind of put up or shut up type of thing. Ended up winning, and great things have happened in the city of Sanford. We're a very diverse community. We're multinational. A lot of different people from all walks of life live here, and a lot of people have come into our downtown area. And the rehabilitation of what's going on has just been tremendous. I've got a lot of projects that I want to finish up, and some new stuff coming in also that I want to help put into work, so to speak.
Awesome, fantastic. I absolutely just think that Mr. Triplett is a model example of what a mayor should be.
You're too kind.
Across the board. No, and I say that, listen, when I first met Mr. Triplett, it was 2 years ago at the beginning of Sanford Pride.
Yeah.
And he was just so in tune to what was going on. And that's hard to get. Here in Orlando, we have a great mayor that also does the same exact thing. But it was such an amazing experience, and it made me feel comfortable enough to ask him to be on my first episode of some broadcast that may not go anywhere, but he's here, and that is so awesome. So thank you.
I appreciate the invite, and I love all people from all walks of life, and that's what we are. That's what we should be doing as politicians. We shouldn't be nickel and diming people and needling people on the side just because they're not a part of our party affiliation. We're all one universe.
Absolutely. Darryl, I'm going to come back at you with another question. The next question that we have for you is, what is it that you feel that you can bring to the table as the Orange County Sheriff that the current sheriffs may have not in the past or currently?
Well, when elected, I feel my policies will bring greater transparency, greater accountability to not only the sheriff's office, but the officers as well. And in doing so, I think that'll increase our customer service ability and appearance as well to the community. I think we have to maintain and remember that we are in a public service industry, so to speak, or profession, and we serve the public. If we start disrespecting and doing things outside of that parameter, then I feel we're not doing what we're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
So again, my policies that I bring forth, and we can get into that more later as my campaign rolls out. I know you're limited on time, but that's the goal.
Fantastic, awesome. And when is that? When is the election for Orange County Sheriff?
The election, we have primaries right now. I'm the Democratic nominee. My opponent did not qualify. So for my position, it won't be in the primary, but you can vote for a lot of other positions right now in the primary all the way. It ends, I believe, August 28th. The general election will be November 6th. I will be on the ballot November 6th, and I will be the only Democratic nominee. So please do go vote and support your Democratic Party.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So, Robin, coming back around the corner at you. Now, why would you say that you would be the best candidate for this position?
So I feel as though that, well, I know that I'm the best candidate. Number one, and it's all black and white. I do not accept donations or any type of funding from corporations, i.e. Disney or any type of lobbyist, because I do not ever want to be bought by any corporations that would limit my ability to speak for the people and on behalf of the people. And my opponent has outraised me about $90,000. And some think that's a laughing matter, but I think it's a very proud thing that when I can speak, I can look Sheriff Demings or Chief Mina in the eye and say what I need to say and know that I'm standing on the power of the people.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I honored most about your campaign thus far. And just one of the many things is the fact that you are funding this. And I think that's incredible, and that's so important. A lot of times we don't really talk about that, but that's very important. So that's awesome. So Mr. Triplett, let's see. Your next question would be, so you're running for re-election, as we discussed earlier, in January 2019. And as I said earlier, also you've accomplished so much as mayor. How do you plan to keep that particular streak going?
That's an interesting question. You know, we're sitting right now, we're one of the only cities in Seminole County that actually has undeveloped property. So I think growth management is a huge issue for us. How do we grow it responsibly and work with the school board? And we don't have anything to do with the school board. We've got a great school system and great members, but you can only have quality development, quality housing in the areas where you have great elementary schools. It's a given fact. So what we have to do right now is make sure that our school board is on par with bringing our local schools up from C and D schools up to A and B schools. They've started it. They've done a decent job with it, but they still have a lot of work to go. So I think over the next 4 years, really, truly what we have to do to bring in the large corporations, to bring in even the median, the mom and pop corporations, businesses, is we have to work hand in hand with the school board to make sure they're doing the right things by the schools that are in the city of Sanford. They've started it. It's a long process to take a school from, a bad school up, and they've done a decent job. But I think really the next 4 years is truly going to be focused on that, to bring our housing prices up, to bring everybody up to where we need to be in the community.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. And let's see. Let's come back to you, Robin.
Oh, by the way, can I say something else?
Sure.
I appreciate you having a candidate for sheriff on here, because a community is only as good as their police force. And we work hand in hand. Our chief of police, Cecil Smith, has been with us for 5 years now. And he is absolutely a wonderful guy. He's top notch. He's transformed our police department into true community policing, what it should be. So I look forward to what the next sheriff is going to do for Orange County, because truly your community is only as good as your police or sheriff's office. So I appreciate what you're doing, sir.
Thank you. I look forward to working with you and any other member of the community and making sure, as you said, that we maintain a strong community and work together and not against each other. And that's why I'm running. So.
That's awesome. That's community, guys. And I love that. That's what this is all about. So, Robin, tell us about your community work. What are your focuses? I know you spoke a little bit about it earlier, and I followed you forever, so I know. But for those who don't know, tell us a little bit about your focuses. It looks like you might be frozen up there. Can you hear me, Robin? Okay, no problem. Well, maybe she'll come back in a little bit. We'll just go on. We'll go back to you, Mr. Sheppard. The next question that we have for you is, what would you do as sheriff? We already actually asked you that one. What would you do as sheriff of Orange County to change the narrative? I want to say also, so what exactly, what would you say about the narrative? And I know we spoke about this a little bit earlier, but I want to get a little bit deeper into this. What would you say about the narrative about how transgendered people are addressed in the media? And the reason I'm asking you as someone who's running for sheriff is because every time we address it to the media, they push it back on the sheriff's department. And they tell us things like, it was what they told us and those type of things. So, and I know that was an unexpected question, Darryl. Please don't kill me for that.
I think, in interest of, and that may arise from the recent situation that happened. We also have to be careful as a community not to assume, that officers already know on the scene. I think there's some policies that we can put in place because if you haven't, for example, changed your designation on your driver's license or some other form of ID or any other way that an officer would know in a situation like that, they're just operating based on policy, based on the way they know how to operate and identify. And sometimes it can come off as insensitive to the community, but I don't think that's really their intent. However, once it is, something that they are aware of, whether family makes them aware, and I think they should reach out to family, friends, next of kin first before they, put out a media story in a situation like that. But once you get confirmation, then you have to go with that. But I think the best thing that members of the transgender community can do is make sure that they have gone through the process and if something like that happens, either wear some type of ID in a sense, similar like we have medical bracelets if you're diabetic or something like that to say, hey, I have not changed my designation on my driver's license. I haven't gone through that process, but this is who I am. So if you identify or you want to refer to me, this is the way you do it. Absent of that, I think we have to, give everyone the benefit of the doubt that they act in good faith. And I don't see any error, when a person does act in good faith and in accordance with their policies of their department.
Okay. And just a little.
Does that make sense? I mean, that you can follow back with them.
It does, absolutely. And just to follow up just a little bit, so would you agree that those policies need to be, and I know you said a little bit earlier, yes, they do. Do you agree that they need to be adjusted to the times?
Yes. But how you do that, I think we get feedback from, both members of that community, and we can sit down and discuss the best practices moving forward. To arbitrarily come upon a policy myself, clearly, there are some policies that are in place that the previous administration felt were adequate. And of course, they're not. So I think we can come together as a community, as a collective effort, and make sure. But I'm not sure that there's going to be one policy that we can put in place in absent of, again, going to the driver's license office or the policies that, make it widespread that everyone knows. So if you're saying let's, find other policies other than that one, then, yeah, we definitely have to sit down and have a discussion about that.
And I want to say as well that I wouldn't say, like, I completely understand what you're saying, and I wouldn't say that I agree getting your name changed if you're able to do that. That's
right.
But I also, as a transgender woman, I've been struggling for a long time. When I was younger, I got into a bunch of trouble. I got some felonies on my record, so I was not able to do my name change immediately.
Right.
Still am going through some processes, and it's very painstaking to do that.
Right.
So what happens when these young ladies die in the midst of trying to do that? I feel that we need to find some sort of solution. And I know that as you're running right now, you can't do anything about that, and I appreciate your answer.
Right. And again, my response to that would be, how can you, and that may be our situation that, in a discussion involving the community, the transgender community, we would be able to have to brainstorm. But, the way things are today, how could you, without having that designation on your driver's license, how could you expect the deputies and the police officers to know if, how to respond? And people can say, well, just based on appearance alone. I'm not sure that's fair. To make that assessment, just based on the appearance of someone, because you're not sure if they have committed their life to that or if that's just something that they're going through in the moment. And it's hard to make that determination on the scene.
I understand that completely. And I want to follow up to that as well. And I'm so glad that you said that. I agree with you here. But my thing is as well, what happens when she's a young lady that has had surgeries and she's had things that are done, and it's obvious that there's no way she could be living as a man in a dress prior to her being found dead behind a building? What happens then? At that point, it seems to us that would be an intentional thing.
Right. Now, how would you, if you're saying after autopsy or something like that, you make that assessment, then that's a different story. But, on the scene, I think it gets into, some difficult things to say, hey, we're going to look at, those different areas that you pointed out and come to assessment on our own. But again, I do agree with you. If there's some obvious signs, if a person is found, without clothes or something like that, there can be inferences made. But then as a sheriff or in policy, you may run into where the family may say, hey, we have some issues with that. So I think, in respect of all parties involved in that person's life, you consult, and then, before you make a press release or a release to the media, you consult with the family or the next of kin and make sure that that's what they want.
Absolutely. And if you're going to do a release before, say something like, I think that Orlando Sentinel did a great job handling this last time. They just simply said a body or individual,
right.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, so back to our questions. Thanks so much, Darryl, for that. Really that came out of nowhere, but I'm so glad you were on point there, and I appreciate that. Mayor Triplett, let's see. So, as the mayor of Sanford, with me knowing how much you are definitely in tune with the LGBTQ community, what would you say in this forum right now to those members of that community, of our community that are watching right now? What would you say to the Sanford community and all of Central Florida right now?
We've come a long way in the city of Sanford, for a lot of different reasons. We've got a lot of work to do. Things don't change overnight. I'm a huge supporter. I've been to all the events. I stand up, I speak, I make the calls where need be. Not just for the LGBTQ community, but for everybody. And that's what we need to get back to. I'm not that old, but I remember back in the day where our doors were open and we knew who our neighbors were. We knew, we were watching each other's houses. We were watching each other's stuff. And, to speak to the future sheriff, there's only so many police officers on the road at any given point in time. It's up to us to be the eyes and the ears of not only them, but the community as a whole, to take care of everybody. And that's why we put ourselves into public service. If you're not sitting at the table, you're on the main course. Absolutely. Right? So we've created some things in the city of Sanford, some citizens academies. We've actually had some LGBTQ people come through it, and I want to put them on boards. I want them to have a voice, not just behind the scenes, or not just this is the third community pride event that we're doing here, but truly, what can we do to help the stature? What like the candidate for sheriff saying, what can we do to make sure that the licenses are correct, that when something does happen, that it's relayed properly through the media. And if you don't think about it in advance, one slip of the word creates a firestorm. And so it's up to us, while you're sitting at the table, to say, okay, here's a new set of regulations, or here's a new thought process that we need to do for everybody that's involved. And that's why I want to continue running. That's why I want to continue to be in the seat, because it's about the voice of Sanford. We work for the citizens. We work for all citizens.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's my stump speech.
I love it.
That's pretty good.
Hey, Robin, I think we have Robin back. Robin, are you back?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. Awesome. What I was asking before we got disconnected was, like I said, tell us just a little bit about your community work. What are your focuses? What are you mainly focused on? Tell us about what you do in the community.
Sure. It's, I guess for years I've kind of used the term intersectional activist, because it seems like there's always a reason to speak out and to push back. So sometimes, even throughout the campaign, it's been, if someone says, name me one thing, it's been really hard to just say one thing, because there's so many things that various communities face as it deals with oppression. But I guess one of the things that I may push back real hard on has been the over-policing. And so I do have a working group that I'm working with different folks from here to Philadelphia, is the Black Community control of the police. And I was really glad to hear Mayor Triplett, I believe, talk about his community policing efforts. And I think because with community policing, so many areas, there's been so much racial terrorizing in our communities, which all these things, ultimately lead to gentrification, mental trauma. I think the last big thing that I kind of was involved in was when Mr. James Bowdy, a Haitian Black American gentleman, was killed. He basically was shot in half because he was allegedly a homicide suspect. And so if we want our neighborhoods to be whole and wholesome and quality of living, we're going to have to take back our communities. And in order to bridge the gap, we've got to begin to build our own bridges, and to make law enforcement accountable to neighborhoods, accountable to people. And so this is one big push that I have. And just overall quality of life in our, not just District 6, but overall quality of life is a big concern of mine here in Orlando.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that you are going to work even harder as you have been. You're a very hard worker, and I know that you're working hard for the community. And District 6 would be, in my personal opinion, they would be extremely blessed to have you on board with them. Now, another question for you is, like I said, we've seen you all over Florida. You're at rallies and protests. You and Cha-Cha, who we're missing Cha-Cha, but we're definitely going to get her on another episode to hear what she has to say as well. But you guys were both part of that 10 for the 49 who were arrested for a protest shortly after the Pulse events, correct? The Pulse tragedy?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. And so you're no stranger to resistance and to the revolution, and I love it. You're, like I said, you're one of the strongest, most powerful Black women I know in this city that I know of. I'm sure there are plenty of them, but definitely that I know of. And so some people simply won't vote for you, as we know, just because you are an educated, outspoken, pro-Black woman candidate. What would you say to those people?
Well, I mean, and everyone, I think, voting, we have a right. They have a right to vote for me or not to vote for me. And so that just comes with the territory. And I think it's important. I'm glad you kind of highlighted, I'm pro-Black, but it does definitely not mean anti-white. Growing up in the church, I think I'll often think about the scripture that says, the last shall be first and the first shall be last. My whole effort is about reparations. And reparations are not about just, mules and acres. It's about making those who have been last, making them a priority, because we all have been under this colonialism and these neoliberal tactics that have kept us oppressed. So so a vote for me is a vote for restoration. It's a vote for communities being made whole. It's a vote for righting those wrongs that we have suffered for so many years.
Fantastic. Awesome. I am so grateful that each of you guys have been here. That's all the questions that we have for you guys. And I'm going to let you guys go because I'm so appreciative of the time that you've given me. I know that you guys are very busy individuals and you have families and things like that to get to. But before we go, do any of you have any last things that you want to add or say before I let you guys go?
This is Robin.
Okay.
Just want to encourage everyone, we're in the process of early voting for primaries. And there are about 15 locations. Be sure and exercise your right to vote by locating those locations, and be sure and take everything with you, photo ID, and if your address has changed, have your voter registration card, any type of information that will help the process, because we know the South is known for and is notorious for voter suppression. So take everything with you so that you won't be turned away.
Thank you for that, Robin. Thank you very much.
Well, we've got one of the best supervisor elections in Seminole County, so there's no voter suppression in Seminole County. I don't know how many people are watching from here, but it's very easy. We've got several. Obviously, every city has a location, but there's an important, just real quick, there's an important part to voting. It's being an informed voter. You have to be informed. So don't just go to vote for vote's sake, because that's where we get in trouble. It's actually being informed, and it's up to us as candidates and elected officials, because we have 4 charter amendments on our ballot. It's up to us to explain what those amendments mean and who the right candidate is. So it's not just go vote for your good buddy because you went to high school together. It may be the wrong reason to vote. There's 2 pages. So there's a whole lot of information on there. If you don't understand one of the amendments or whatever's on there, don't mark a circle. It's okay to not mark a circle on a ballot because you don't know. All right? Vote, but be informed.
Absolutely.
I love you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I love you too, Mr. Triplett. We'll talk soon.
And I want to thank all the candidates that you had on tonight. Mr. Triplett, Robin. I think they're running great campaigns. One of the questions that we missed, but I'll end it in my statement, is the reason that I ran. I don't feel like we had in the candidates that was represented before I got into the race a change candidate that would change the establishment or the status quo. So that's what compelled me to get into the race. I felt like I have to bring back accountability, reform our community, and bring some transparency to the sheriff's office. And we have to act now. I could not wait another 2 years and hope that the problem would fix itself. So I hope everyone goes out and votes. Definitely vote, even though I'm not in the primary. Vote your Democratic Party. Vote for people that you believe in, that believe in your values. If you don't vote, you can't complain. And then November, in the general election, please do vote, of course, for me, including the rest of the Democratic Party. But if for some reason something is not sitting right with a candidate for yourself, I mean, vote for change. Don't sit back and assume that you can sit at home and nothing it's going to fix itself and somehow you can do nothing but you can expect a different result. So I wish everyone a great evening, great weekend, great week. And you know where to find me, Shep for Sheriff, or Darryl Sheppard for Sheriff on Facebook. And you can reach out to me anytime. And thank you for having me again.
Thank you very much. And I'm so glad, once again, like I said, that you guys are here. You guys are awesome. You guys are free to go whenever you'd like. Thank you again for stopping by. We appreciate you, and we will be looking for what great things you guys have for our community.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was awesome. Like, I am rushing right now. That was awesome. That was fantastic. I loved everybody that was on today. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to Cha-Cha, the voice of the South. This program that we were using, it was all brand new. We literally all just had our very first rehearsal together an hour before the show started. So there was probably some technical issues. Mulan, like I said, she did reach out to me and let me know she's not going to be able to make it. She will be with us next week, and I'm so excited about that as well. So stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for a little trailer from next week's episode. But for right now, that has been the conclusion of our show. We're going to go ahead and just call it a night for now. Thank you guys so much for this. I cannot wait till you guys see the amazing things that we have coming up in the future. Just to, like I said, a brief rundown. Next week, we have the All Trans show, All Things Trans. The following week, we have the male version of All Things Trans. So we will have female to male transgender individuals on the show, and it will be letting it all hang out as well. So that's going to be an awesome show. And that's on September 2nd. On September 9th, I'm so super excited to announce that we are going to be having an amazing individual on the show. Her name is Giselle Barbie Royale. You guys may know her as being the current reigning Miss Westland. You guys may know her as being a former Miss Continental. She's talented. She's beautiful. She's multi-talented. She's, excuse me. She's had several titles, and she's going to be right here on this show. We are going to be doing a candid, intimate interview with her, getting to know her. That is Black Girls Rock weekend, which is September 9th, the weekend of September 9th. That Sunday, that show particularly will be a special time. We're going to be doing that at 5 p.m. that day. So stick around. Make sure you guys tune in for that episode. You don't want to miss it. I'm so glad that all of you that tuned in today were here, and I hope that we were able to educate you a little bit more on the people that are running for the positions in the area that affects you. And these are the people that can make the changes that we need to have made in the Central Florida area. I hope to expand this so much bigger. Until now, though, for now, I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for this show. We will be here every Sunday, 7 p.m. Don't miss out. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.
Introducing
Coming to you live on BS69. We have a new artist called Lucinda Karma, codename Lucifer, aka Lucy. Dropping a new exclusive called Replay Radio. This shit is on. This shit is motherfucking fire. Check it out. Check it out.
Black people ain't getting cut down. Particular innocent children is allowed. Protect everyone with melanin in their skin. We'll never be productive lucrative citizens without entering the life of crime. Pretend law mental profession rates segregated lives. The schools that are minority populated or like the private schools in the way of Medicaid. Let's pretend the money don't breathe air. Let's pretend I don't get money to be a president. Let's forget about all our troubles and get waiting. Cause I got the keys, you got the keys. Check it, everybody has the keys to the city. Let's unlock every door, on every door. To make our oppressors give us some more freedom. Freedom with no coliseums in the form of television. Keep our minds in presence. Let's pretend we are evolution. Creatively thinking for critical resolutions. This is a game called Let's Play Radio. So come along with me and Let's Play Radio. Let's do the right thing and kill the radio. Let's pretend there is an alien invasion and the only immigrants are the Native Americans. Let's pretend I am Lucifer, an abomination, and I preach to a massive congregation. Let's pretend hip hop is not spiritual hymns. Let's pretend me and Mr. Mirror only friends.